Hey everyone, welcome to the SHRED podcast. I'm so excited to be back with you. We are going to continue in our coaches series because we have hired some new coaches at SHRED. And so today we are going to feature Coach Steffi. Hey Steffi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. Steffi is our newest coach, but she's been an athlete with SHRED for a very long time. So when did you join SHRED?
I joined SHRED about a year and a half ago, off of a whim that, I moved into a new condo and drove past SHRED to and from work. And I was like, I should try out SHRED. So that's really how I found SHRED, just, looking at the side of the road and then finally deciding to sign up for that 2-week free trial. And I've been there ever since.
And you, did you do CrossFit at all before that?
I did a little bit of CrossFit in college. My senior year of lacrosse, I ended up not playing my spring season. So during that spring season, I found a gym that was close by. And I was there probably 3 times a week, but nothing too serious, just, trying to stay active at that point. And sorry, that's my dog. And just stay active at that point and continue working on my fitness and overall health.
So what is your athletic background? You mentioned lacrosse in college.
Yeah,
What
so I grew up swimming, and then I started playing lacrosse in middle school and fell in love with lacrosse, did travel lacrosse in the summers, and then ended up playing lacrosse in college at Walsh University for 3 out of the 4 years that I was there.
well, you know, I have a special place in my heart for swimming. So I got to ask, what were your events?
My best event was actually the 500 yard freestyle. I was a really good long distance swimmer.
Only the best swimmers can do the 500.
Yeah, so I missed. I didn't swim all through high school, but my junior year I missed states by maybe like a tenth of a second on districts. So I definitely was a competitive swimmer, and I loved that, and it was a great way to stay in shape. And then kind of just needed a break from the chlorine in the pool for a while, and that's when I found lacrosse.
Yeah. Well, missing by a tenth of a second after swimming 20 laps is pretty much a bummer.
Yeah, it was a defeating feeling.
Yeah. Oh, that actually gives me nightmares. So what made you want to be a coach?
So, with my lacrosse background, and I had coached a little bit for a local high school when I was at college, just, in the spare time that I had to be able to help those girls learn how to play. Realizing that, I really enjoyed being able to help others like exceed at what they're or not exceed, but meet their goals and really help them achieve what they're looking for within the sport. So it really translated well into CrossFit with, being able to help other athletes just work on the little things that can make a lift even more successful, or just to help them reach their daily goal of getting to the gym and moving and getting a workout in. So it was really easy for me to make the decision to go ahead and pursue coaching.
And with that, you had to complete your level 1.
Yes, I did.
And so you're the most recent completer of that. What was your big takeaway from the level 1?
My biggest takeaway would be that it's a great weekend, and you meet a lot of athletes that are, local, and some that are from out of town and out of state. And it really is eye-opening, because you think you know what you're doing, and then you go in there and you break down the movements to like each piece, like, where your hands are, where your feet are positioned, when you should, accelerate through the lift. So it really just was sort of, breaking it down, looking at the small pieces, which was very beneficial in learning, where even as a coach and an athlete that you might be making a mistake at the gym that you're not even aware of. So it was really interesting to see the breakdown of each of the movements.
Can you believe how sore the PVC pipe makes you?
I literally didn't want to touch a PVC pipe for like a month after I took that course. It was ridiculous. People were like, "Oh, you're going to be so sore." And I'm like, "Really?" I cannot even, I think we probably did 75 to 100 squats like with just a PVC pipe one day. And I was like, I'm done. Like, I needed a break. was dripping sweat. Like it was like a legit hard workout with a PVC pipe.
So when an athlete thinks that they have to go heavy to get a good workout, are they right?
No, you have to go heavy to just pick up that PVC pipe and do some squat pauses and holds, and you'll get a good workout in.
Yeah. And you think Marcus makes you hold long for a position?
Uh, no, not
No,
anymore.
no. That L1 is insane.
Yeah.
All right. So tell us a little bit about your family.
So I have a really small family, but I grew up in Dublin and I have one older brother. He's 3 years older than I am. And he's a physical therapist. He's actually dropped in at SHRED a few times to help me with some rehab stuff. And so he's out in California. So I don't get to see him as much as I used to. But he's definitely somebody that I look up to and has extensive knowledge in like the physical therapy rehab side of things. So, it's really nice to be able to turn to him if I, have somebody who's like, hey, something's bothering me. I can be like, let me find somebody or find an exercise for you that can help with that. So that's a great resource that I have within my brother. And then my parents still live in Dublin, and they're about 20 minutes away from where I am now, and get to see each other on the weekends. And I love going over there and seeing my two 5-year-old beagle dogs and hanging out with them for a little bit. So, but other than that, that's really like my close family that's in town, and I love them. So as much time as I can with them, I try to spend with them. So.
And you're pretty close with your parents?
Yes, I would say very close with my parents. We typically see each other at least once a week, or we're on the phone with each other. So we're very close, yes.
And you said you had two 5-year-old beagles.
Yes.
And they live with your parents.
Yes. And then I have my new puppy, Luna, who will be 10 weeks tomorrow. And she's also a beagle. And she's been at the gym a few times. So some people have already seen her. But for those who haven't, I promise you'll see her at some point.
And she's already Insta famous.
She is. I put her on Instagram all day long.
So what's it like being the parent of a brand new puppy?
It's a lot of work. I definitely thought I was going to be really stressed out and anxious when I got her. But it's an amazing feeling. Like, she's so young, so she doesn't really she's just sleeps and plays a lot. But it's really nice to like come home and she's here waiting for me and is excited to see me, and then snuggling and just going on walks with her. So it's been I've had her now for 2 weeks. So I've really enjoyed, from the moment she got in the car. I texted the dog breeder and I was like, this dog already has my heart. So she's like my little girl, and I do love her so much.
And so what's the biggest change to your daily routine?
Biggest change would be, I normally don't wake up in the middle of the night, but right now, because we can't hold our bladder for so long, I do have to wake up probably 2 times every night to get her outside. So it probably usually around like 2 a.m. and then 4 a.m. we go back out. So that's the biggest change right now, is just that change to my sleep pattern.
So that's just getting you ready for when you turn 50.
Yes. Kids. Yeah, pretty much.
So I know you're kind of in between gigs outside of SHRED.
Yes.
But what are you looking to do outside of SHRED for your job?
So I just recently retired from my previous job for a little bit. I just needed to step back and take some time off. So I'm looking at probably to stay in like the health and wellness industry, which is where my other job was. The medical aesthetics world is considered health and wellness. So whether that be in the same kind of setting or in a different medical office, or even back at Rogue Fitness where I was over the quarantine shutdown, just kind of waiting to see what I really want to do and taking time off to reflect and figure out what's the best move for me. But I definitely see myself, tagging along with being a coach, staying in that health and wellness industry, and just seeing what's out there.
So you worked at Rogue temporarily during the quarantine?
Yes, I was at Rogue for probably a month and a half when the state shut down. We actually closed our offices, so I needed something to fill that time, and I was at Rogue during that time, working in the warehouse.
Was it fun?
It was fun. I actually got forklift certified, so I can now drive a forklift, and I was loading big freight orders into those like giant UPS trucks that you see on the highway. So it was a good time, and I met people that I wouldn't have met, if I hadn't taken that job up. So I really enjoyed my time there, and I could see myself going back. So we'll see if that pans out when I'm ready to start working again, and go from there.
I just saw on Instagram, I think it was yesterday, that they're adding a wage supplement through the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, listen, besides that, I really, even if it hadn't been for like a pay increase or whatever, for the temporary pay increase, I enjoyed being there so much. The managers are nice, the supervisors are nice, and I met friends that I still talk to every day through Rogue. So it was a great atmosphere, and I really enjoyed my time there.
Well, that is really cool. I didn't know that coming into this, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So the Open is a big deal at Shred, and you've taken part in the Open. What's your favorite part of doing the Open?
My favorite part of the Open, besides the workouts, which are grueling but fun, is just the sense of community that we have when there's everybody's at the gym and we're just cheering for whoever's in the current heat, and we get excited because we hit a PR, or somebody thought they were only going to do this well and they blew it out of the water. So I really enjoy the shred community as a whole, even outside of the Open, um, being part of that and being able to interact with everybody. And it kind of, even though we see each other at the gym, it's kind of just one more place that we get to interact as a whole community versus like sparsed out between our class times that we normally go to.
Well, those were all the tough questions. Now we get to do the fun questions.
Okay.
Okay. So what is your favorite moment as a Shred athlete?
My favorite moment as a shred athlete is probably when we moved to the new gym space that we're in right now. When we had, everybody was helping out at set up the new space, and we were just kind of hanging out. It's about a year ago now that we've been in the new space, if I remember correctly. So just hanging out with everybody, and that sense of, again, community, like coming together, getting things set up, helping Marcus and Janessa get that gym set up and ready for the athletes to start coming back in was great. And that's something that I'll probably remember forever, just because there was that community aspect to it.
Well, they move every 3 years, so just
No,
get used to it. And then,
we'll have a
and
good, every 3 years, it'll be like a refresh on that memory. So
right. Marcus just peed his pants a little bit after I said that. Um, so what are two things you do to keep your health and fitness goals on track?
two things I do. I really am big into meal prep. So typically what that looks like for me is, on a Sunday night, I will cook all my meals for the week, and try to really follow that closely with what I've prepped. That doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not going to go get like a cheeseburger or something as a cheat meal. That does happen. That's the biggest one. I know that, we work out so hard, but it also comes together when you're not at the gym. So, what you're eating, what you're drinking. And then other things that I do, like, outside of the gym, Coach Jen and I, we're running a lot. So whether Jen's biking and I'm running, or vice versa, or we just hit another workout outside of the gym, just kind of focusing maybe not so much on the big lifts, but just the smaller things that we sometimes don't have time to focus on at the gym, like auxiliary work.
I lost you at cheeseburger. I was all in there. Sorry.
Like, cheeseburger sounds good.
Yeah. So now we're going to do like your favorite and least favorite.
Okay.
So your favorite and least favorite CrossFit movements.
My favorite CrossFit movement is probably power cleans, and I do like to snatch. So I would say power clean and snatches. My least favorite movement is probably toes to bar, a lot of rig work, because I cannot keep my hands from tearing. So that's the hardest for me, is knowing that I'm probably going to tear my hands open on a workout. And outside of rig work, I would say like a devil press or a ridiculous amount of burpees are both things that I don't love.
All right. Your favorite and least favorite named WOD.
Um, my least favorite is probably Fran because it's so short, but it kills you. And I'm trying to think. I don't know if I have a favorite named WOD, to be honest. Um, I like doing Murph is like Cindy, so I guess rounds of Cindy are good. And training for Murph, so I would probably say like just working on like those push-ups, pull-ups, and air squats are a good workout.
I thought you'd say Grace because you could power clean. But the jerk, no.
Yeah, but that might be my favorite movement, but you got to be able to do everything, so you got to work on the other aspects as well.
This is my world. Like I'm gonna make it whatever I want to do. All right, here we go. Favorite and least favorite healthy food.
My favorite healthy food. I primarily eat grilled chicken. So if I can get grilled chicken on anything, that's going to be like my go-to protein. My least favorite, I do not eat seafood at all. So even though it's packed with nutrients and protein and those good oils, I just cannot bring myself to eat any seafood. So that's my least favorite healthy food is definitely seafood.
All right, what is your favorite cheat meal?
My favorite cheat meal. Um, Another hard question. I really love Harvest Pizza. If I can get there for lunch, they have a lunch special. So you get a salad and a pizza for like $11. It's delicious. So that's probably one of my favorite cheat meals. And then I always, Chipotle is always a easy go-to for me. If I'm like on the road or just need something really quick, I'll just get Chipotle as well.
All right, you're in an open workout. You are struggling. It's going horribly wrong. What song do you need to come on the radio to pick you up and get you back on track?
That's a hard question. I would say, honestly, this is funny, but I feel like Pour Some Sugar on Me. I know, that's so terrible, but like, I don't know why. There's a movie that Tom Cruise is in and he plays the main character and he sings that song. And I think I like how he sings it. So like, I really get into it. So I would have to say like the Def Leppard version, obviously, but yeah, probably like I don't like scream music, so rock or anything with like a good beat or something that I'm like, this is great to just get me going. But yeah, that's probably my choice.
All right, last question. Who is your favorite male and female pro CrossFitter?
I really like Noah Olson. I think that he has the potential.
All right, this interview's over.
I know. I mean, Matt Fraser's great, but I think Noah Olson has really, I follow him on Instagram, and I think that he could have a chance. He did really well against Matt Fraser last year. He really just pulled away in that last event, Matt did. So, I always like to see new people, come up into that podium and do their best. So I like Noah. And then as far as females, I really like Katrin. So, I mean, there's so many good female athletes or Tia. Again, I follow them on Instagram and just like the content that they put out and the things that they post that are outside of the CrossFit world, makes people, I think, realize that they're not just like professional athletes, but they're also humans and they have other things going on for them outside of the gym. So those are probably my favorite athletes.
Yeah, your taste and my taste in CrossFit athletes are completely different. But that's okay. That's what makes the world go round.
Yep.
Right. We all have different interests, but I just want to personally thank you for coming on the podcast and introducing yourself to the whole community, and welcome to the coaching staff.
Well, thank you for taking the time to ask me some difficult questions and helping the community get to know me a little bit better.
And when are you coaching right now?
Right now I cover the 6:45 classes on Wednesdays and Thursdays primarily. And then we'll be starting foundations up soon again. So those will be happening on Saturdays. So once that happens, I'll be in the gym on Saturdays too in the morning.
So if you want to catch one of Steffi's classes, Wednesday, Thursday, 6:45, check that out. And then of course you'll fill in where needed, just like everyone else. So
yes. Yep. I think I'm coaching 8 classes this week, so there's a lot of subbing going on.
All right. Well, thanks, Steffi. Have a great day.
All right. Thank you, Scott.
And we'll see you guys next time on the SHRED podcast.